Hello, everyone. This is Todd. Welcome to another episode of The Shadow Self, A Journey Within. My co-host Joanne and I are excited to be back again. We have another exciting guest that we'd like to introduce. But first, I want to say hi to Joanne. Hey, Joanne, how are you?
Hi, Todd. I'm good. I had a really good day. The sun was actually out in Syracuse today.
Yes, it was here in Oswego. It was very nice today. I think it got up to like 75, so pretty cool. I really enjoyed that. So I'd like to announce our next guest, Kimberly Lalomia. Hey, Kim, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thank you for joining us tonight.
I want to thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So, Joanne, I'm going to let you take it from here.
Thank you, Todd. Kim is a very special guest. I met Kim in the year 2009, and I met her under unusual circumstances because I had explained in our YouTube video about that my dad was dying, and then in 2010 we had lost him, and then I went into that very dark place of the shadow self and learning about myself, and that a lot of people wouldn't approach me. So Kim was one of the very few who actually would. She approached me. She had no qualms, no intimidations, no. She just said, "Hey, what's wrong with you?" and every morning she would share a cup of coffee with me, ask me how my day was, wanted to know what my feeling was that day. If I cried, I cried. If I laughed, I laughed. She was very open with me, and as we got to know each other and become friends, I noticed some similarities, some mirror effects with her, that people were kind of shunning her or putting her in a box and not letting her be her true self. And I said to her, it's kind of like you have an Eeyore gloom around you, or people are not seeing your true heart. You are a wonderful person. And she started to share and open up her authentic self about who she was. And since then, she is, I'm going to share, she's a survivor, and her story is amazing. So it's again a different shadow self story, a different view on seeing yourself and opening up. So I'm going to give the platform to Kim and have her begin sharing that. Kim, welcome. And viewers, you're in for quite a story.
Oh, thanks for having me, Joe. I'm honored that you invited me. I don't know where you want me to start, but I guess I'll start back where uh, when we met. I saw you walking to the office in which we work, looking sad, this, and I felt like I should say hi and ask if you were okay. I don't know. I guess we kind of started a friendship that day. And as you said, we talk in the morning with coffee and get to work.
Can you
Okay.
describe what was going on? Like, we had similarities. You'd lost both your parents, and how you explained to me that if someone rushed me through that scenario or said to me, um, hurry up, get over it. What's your problem? Grief shouldn't take that long. You shared with me that take as long as I needed. Share that with me.
I was, not to get off subject, but I was my father's caregiver. And when my father passed, I was feeling much like you did when your father passed. And a hospice counselor had said to me, which I passed on to you, is to take as much time as you need to grieve and grieve any way you need to grieve. If you have to cry, you cry. If you get angry, you get angry. Just don't move in. You do what you have to do to get over the hump. And then when you're feeling that you've come to terms with the loss, then you try to move on day by day.
And like you had shared with me too later as things went on, that your parents, you lost your mom within 3 or 5 years after your dad, and you felt lost. You felt like they were your complete support system.
Yes, they were my support system. They were my greatest cheerleaders. They got me through every obstacle in life that I had run into up till that point. I didn't know how to carry on without them. It was like I was in limbo. I felt a huge cloud over my head for years. This went on for years. I was depressed. I was self-soothing myself with food and shopping, and people would tell me I was living in the past, I need to move on, da 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 da, and I was one day thinking, all these people that were saying I shouldn't be acting the way I was acting, a year or two out from their death. And I was thinking, these are the people that are telling me this, whose parents are still alive. They don't know what they're talking about. Little did I know, a few years down the road, I would stumble into a horrifying diagnosis of acute myeloid leukemia purely by accident. And I thought, holy cow, who's going to take care of me? Who's going to get me through this? What am I going to do without my mother? The first person I wanted to call was her. And she wasn't there to call. You muddle through.
And in that, you said and have shared with me how you discovered yourself. You discovered your authentic self, that you feel that you had to get that diagnosis, that in a way it was a horrifying diagnosis, but it was also a gift because you found yourself and you became. And can you share with our listeners about that and how you shared with me about that?
When I got diagnosed, I thought, this is it. I'm done. People that have this type of leukemia don't usually live more than 3 to 4 months past diagnosis. Mine was found by accident, as I said. I had no symptoms, just all my blood work was wacky. Of course, being terrified, I had probably taken 3 or 4 days for it to sink into my head. I remember I kept telling my doctors and doctors at the hospital, you better redo the blood work, there's nothing wrong with me, I'm fine, but they did. They took bone marrow biopsy and they confirmed that it was that type of leukemia. So, in the midst of all that, going through the chemo treatment, I was in the hospital the first time for a month. You sit and you reflect on your life. And at one point, I remember thinking, why was I put on this earth? What what was my purpose for being on this earth? And then, I don't know, through the kindness of others, coworkers come and visit me, friends that I hadn't seen in 20, 30 years show up and offer their support.
And during that time, it was fascinating because just even a year prior, you had had major back and neck surgery.
That's correct. Actually, how they found it was doing preoperative testing for another neck surgery. That's how I was diagnosed with it. That's how they found the leukemia, accidentally. I remember laying in the hospital, feeling sorry for myself, thinking, why was I put on this earth? And then in that time where I thought I was put on this earth to take care of people that are sick, then I thought, my whole life, I was always looking for somebody's approval. Anything I did, something I wore, things that I liked, if I personally liked it, someone else didn't like it, I didn't like it. I was never true to my own thoughts. And I realized at that point that I'm living my life to be looking for approval and pleasing other people. And I realized that that's not how I don't believe that's how my life was supposed to be. So, and it's taken me a few years, but I think I'm finally on track to my true self. I don't look for other people's approval. I don't look for making somebody happy. I'm done trying to make anybody happy because I finally realized through my own journey, nobody can make you happy but yourself. You can make people laugh, you can make people smile, give them joy, but you cannot make them happy inside. So now I just live my life for me. I do what pleases me. I buy what pleases me. I go where it pleases me to go. If I don't want to go somewhere that someone is going, I don't want to go. I will not go. I just won't do it. I'm tired of always being the one to give in and say, yeah, I'll do it, or when I really don't want to. I think getting the leukemia, in my opinion, and I'm sure my family will 100,000 times disagree with me, but in my heart of hearts, I think it was a blessing in disguise because I have changed, I have grown, my eyes are open to new things, I try new things. I mean, uh, I'm more open-minded with people. I'm not judgmental as like I was. I'm just trying to be a better person. And I started to make myself a better person. When I was in my bad place before all this happened, I would wake up in the morning and feel sick to my stomach that I had to go to work. I would get to work, I'd get in the parking lot, I'd sit in my car, put my head on the steering wheel, and just breathe deeply because I was kind of afraid to go into work, believe it or not, because I didn't know what the day was going to bring.
And even though, like you said, you loved your job, you loved what you did, it was the anxiety of not knowing.
Exactly. I was a walking basket of nerves for years, and that's all stopped. I don't allow people, situations, things that are insignificant to affect me that way anymore.
I find that so fascinating, Kim, and I'm so proud of you because I've often teased you because I've known you prior and known you after, and we teased that like you were an Eeyore with that cloud of gloom, and people only attached on to that cloud of gloom. They've never went in to see that like the Grinch's heart, it grew and grew and grew. You had that heart. Nobody took the time to see it, and now after your, like you said, the gift of the diagnosis of the leukemia, you are such a light being and you help so many people. And like you said yesterday, you drove a friend in need who made one phone call all the way to Rochester and back just because she was in need. And you're just that type of person. And you've learned from this experience. And that's what we're sharing on this show is we grow, we learn, we remove and incorporate our experiences. And that's what I'm hearing you say. But yet you don't take the negativity or the baggage of others. You're only going to be your authentic self for the health of yourself.
Absolutely. Life is short. Anybody in a depression, or my suggestion, if you're in a dark place, to find something that brings you joy and attach yourself to it. It doesn't even have to be, I mean, with me, it's making things, or my dogs, or my family. These are what's important to me in my life. The love between my family and I, my two dogs, my boyfriend of 21 years, and my crafting. That brings me great joy. It's my happy place.
And you've started a wonderful crafting business making wreaths since this all happened. And that was a whim you shared with me. Just all of a sudden, one day you picked up something and started just crafting wreaths.
Yeah, I was bored, and I thought, I gotta have something to do. All I was doing was laying in the sun at that point and reading. I'm like, I need to do something physical. So I went to a craft store and I bought things to make a wreath, one wreath for the house. And I had such a great time making it that that turned into two, that turned into 12, that turned into like 50. And then my neighbor had come over one day and she was like, oh my goodness, I had them all hanging on the wall, the entrance hallway to my house. She's like, "Are you selling these? You got to sell these. You got to get in craft shows." So, and that's when it started. And then I was a crafting machine. I probably made about 75, 80 wreaths since last October.
Yeah, they're beautiful. They're so, and she custom designed some, and don't get crazy, listeners, but they are beautiful. She does SU ones, and she's done some for me. I have a bunny, I have a Valentine's one, I have a beautiful sunflower coming for the summer to remind me that Syracuse does have sun. Um, and what I'm going to share next is Todd's very good at this because sometimes I forget to breathe. Kim has shared that what she remembered, and the best gift of all, is that she feels like she can breathe again. She feels like she lived the last 10 or 12 years of her life that she wasn't breathing at all. And she feels like
Hmm.
she can breathe now. And Todd very often sends me a message or will telepathically say to me, breathe, just breathe. And he sends me a little crown next to the word. So, and Todd's very gifted with that. He does remember to just breathe. So Kim, can you share with the listeners that story, or how to remember to just breathe?
Yeah, yeah, definitely get in the car, go for a drive, look at nature, notice the green grass, and you have to focus on something other than what's on your mind. There's times where I'll just go in to my bedroom and sit on my bed in the dark and just focus on my breath, breathing in, breathing out, and just listening to that sound and just clearing my mind of everything that's stressing me out. And I think that's how I got through the summer of 2015 with this leukemia hanging over my head, not knowing what the outcome's going to be. Fortunately for me, I was blessed and have been in remission since July of
Oh
2015.
my God, congratulations.
That's wonderful.
God blessed me with that. But you have to have faith in yourself, in your strength, and you lean on people when you need to lean on them, and then you'll be able to stand on your own and feel like you're breathing again, not holding your breath or peeking around the corner at what might be jumping out at you. I lived a lot of years that way, and it's not pleasant. I found the light.
You sure did. And I love the difference in your story, because there are so many ways to deal with the shadow. And unfortunately, you had to hit yours head on, because the universe, God, goddess, God, whatever anyone wants to choose to use as their dogma, what they want to call it, they chose to slap you right in the face with it. This is it. This is your shadow. This is your Eeyore cloud, and we're going to slap you right in the face with it. And you chose to fight. There was some, because I followed your page, your leukemia page, there was some posts where your counts were low. They didn't know if you were going to make it through the night. There was some posts where your fever was so high they didn't know. And you chose to fight. You chose to hit those shadows, that darkness head on.
That's funny that you mentioned that. I have no recollection. There was a 2 week period of time when I was getting my induction chemotherapy that I was sick with, very sick with neutropenic fevers. Like I said, my counts were, blood counts were pretty much all wiped out. They didn't know if I was going to live through that. Fevers were so high that they had to put an ice sheet underneath me on the bed, the hospital bed. I have no recollection of any of this. It went on for 2 weeks. It was delirious. I have a very fortunate to have a very good friend, Lori, who was at that hospital with me every day. She brought my dog up to see me. My brother and my nephew were there. My sister-in-law came whenever she was able to. My friends, like I said, I hadn't seen in 20, 30 years. They all showed up, were with me all the way, and that gave me strength. I think I drew on their kindness and got strength from them and got through it.
Well, it's amazing because you put up to the universe, who's going to take care of me? And the universe heard you, and all of those people came to give you support and help you in any way. And I think that's a beautiful story.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was very humbling. And I still get choked up when I think back to, there were several people I hadn't seen in many, many years. My best friend all through high school. She was there for me. She was there holding my hand for my first bone marrow biopsy that was done in the hospital room. Her mother was my roommate, which was weird. It was very weird.
Well, that explains what Todd just said. You put it out to the universe and they made it happen.
That is the God's honest truth. She was in there for a hip injury, and I went in the room and I heard her voice, and I'm like, oh my God. And I said, Ann, is that you? And she's like, yeah, who's that? And I told her my name, and then the next day, my friend came up, her daughter, and I was like, oh my God, this happened for a reason. There is definitely a higher power in play here.
Todd, I really like the way you said that. Thank you. That was really well worded.
I completely forgot about that.
Yep, the universe hears you. So, it's very interesting.
I think if God brings you to it, He will get you through it.
Yep.
That's my new belief.
And that's why we have to be very careful with our words, what we're saying daily,
Yeah,
what we say every day. And like you've shared that twice now, Kim, on this interview, that wake up, be happy, be positive, choose your words, choose who's going to be in your life. Don't have the naysayers, the negativity, have the positive vibrations and move forward with that. You don't choose the drama, you don't choose the judgmental, you choose the positive because you have been through so much, you've lived through it, you hit it head on, face first, and now you choose the joy, you choose the light because that's your choice. You made it.
that was a promise I made to myself if I survived that leukemia. That I was gonna try really hard to live my life for me, to stop being a people pleaser and sacrificing myself. I think I followed through on that goal. I mean, there are times where people try to suck you into their drama, and I felt it, the pull, but I slightly backed away. I don't want any of that negativity in my life. My life is too precious, too short to dwell on negative things. I want happy people around me going forward.
And what would you think was the hardest part to get there? Could you share with the listeners what do you think was the there's always a mountain, you always have to climb a mountain. What do you think was the hardest part to get there? Like, obviously, it's a daily struggle. There's always something we have to work towards or get over. What do you think was your biggest challenge for that?
My biggest challenge was there were several things. It was letting go of familiarity, areas that I was comfortable in, that even if it was negative, I was comfortable. Not comfortable, but it was familiar. I always had a fear of the unknown and what can happen. And I don't think like that in that way anymore. Letting go of the past was also quite a challenge for me, especially the loss of loved ones. You carry them with you, in your heart for eternity. It's hard to leave the sorrow behind. They wouldn't want you to dwell on their death and sickness. They would want you to remember good times and laughter and vacations and things like that. I just try to focus on positive things.
I like the very first one you said, letting go, even if it's familiar, the familiarity of it, because even if it's negative, because that is so powerful, Kim. So many people just are comfortable and they live in it daily.
I don't know how I did it, and I honestly now, feeling the way I feel, I don't know how I ever did it, and I will never go back to that again. I'm not settling, for somebody's mediocrity. I think there are great things. I've had some, I don't know, maybe people kind of making fun of me because I'm crafting or whatever. But, like I told you earlier, if I sell them, I sell them. If I don't, my walls are nicely decorated. It's no big deal. I donated things for benefits. I've given things away to friends just because they liked it, and I'm like, take it, it's yours. You can have it. I don't care. I just do it. They have something that I enjoy to do that's constructive.
Yeah, they are beautiful though, and they're made with love. They've got so much warmth in them.
Well, I love all of them. Like I just sold one, and I was like, they were like, is that for sale? Yeah. How much? Tell them the price. I'll take it. And I was like, oh, great. And inside I was like, darn it, I wanted to keep that one. I love everything. I mean, if I don't like it when I'm done, I'll take it apart and redo it. So,
So Kim, you shared some wonderful parts of your story. If you were to give the listeners some sort of positive advice, what would you tell them after living what you've gone through? What positive advice would you give them?
live every moment of every day to the fullest because you never know what tomorrow's going to bring. You don't want to be looking back on your life with regret. That's what I would have to say.
Very beautiful. Well, we're going to have to wrap up. This has been a great conversation. I've really enjoyed listening. Kim, if the listeners wanted to contact you, how might they do that?
I have an email that they can email me at, or if they're interested in looking at some of my wreaths, or I have a Facebook page called Crafted with Love and Sparkle. It has everything I've made on now.
Okay, well, I'll have that information in the show notes for when your interview is posted, so people will be able to get in contact with you. Kim, thank you so much for sharing your time with us tonight and sharing your story. It was beautiful, and we really appreciate your time.
It was my pleasure, and thank you again for having me.
Thank you so much, Kim.
You're welcome, Tom.
Thank you again. Well, that's a wrap, everyone. We hope you've enjoyed this episode. So until next time, have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.